Hey, how are you? My name's Tammy Marshall, and I'm the director of the Emotional Healing Institute and the creator of the Unemotional Eater program. And today I want to talk a little bit about how I start to unfold things. I coach people. One of the things that I do is the things my client comes back and they're just like, you're such a support, because the reality is it's what do you do in the moment, and you get way better at it as I start to teach you the tools. But it's not one tool that I use. Now, one of the things that I use a lot of is something that's called EFT, stands for Emotional Freedom Technique. It's a series of tapping on acupressure points that release stress from the body. It's also, the slang term will be tapping. So you'll hear me say EFT or you'll hear me say tapping. It's the exact same thing. But it became the thing that the more that I did the tapping, the more I became aware of my thoughts. The more I became aware of my thoughts, the more I began to question them. The more that I began to question them, the more that I became really aware of the anxiety that I had in my body. And I used the EFT to begin to move a lot of things out of my body and start to flip the switch on the story that I was telling. We're all telling a story. The power in all of this is for you to begin to understand the story that you're telling, because that's what's keeping you stuck. Whether it's, I've been overweight all my life, this is what my family looks like, I don't know how to lose weight, I don't, it's my metabolism, it's, whatever. Like, we all got a story, right? And so I'm just going to invite you. There's a lot of information out there about EFT, so I don't really want to bog you down with all the details about EFT, but I'm just going to ask you to kind of trust me and kind of go along with me here and just see how you feel. And so I want you to think about dieting, just the word of dieting, and just, having to have that restriction around food. And I want you to just notice what comes up. And so even when I say that, and all the work that I've done, my stomach goes, rrr. It's just like I get this feeling in my stomach. And so we tap on what's called the karate chop point. So I'm going to invite you to just do this with me and to tap out loud. And repeat after me, even though I have this feeling in my stomach at just the thought of diet, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I have this feeling in my stomach at just the thought of the word diet, I deeply and completely love and accept myself and all my emotions. Even though I have this feeling in my stomach at just the thought of dieting, I deeply and completely love and accept myself and all my emotions. That thought of dieting, just all the restrictions of dieting. I just don't want to have to diet anymore. I just don't want to feel so restricted anymore. That thought of dieting, that icky feeling in my stomach at the thought of dieting. That sounded too close to like dying, didn't it? It feels like when we're dieting that somehow there's this part of us that's dying inside. And so just tapping through the points, I'm open to the possibility that there's a new way of eating. I'm open to the possibility that I can make changes in the foods that I choose while feeling alive and thriving. I'm open to the possibility that there's changes that I can make in the way that I eat that make me feel alive and thrive. I'm open to the possibility that it's safe for me to begin to make changes in the way that I eat. I'm open to the possibility that I can change the way I eat and have fun and feel alive. I'm open to the possibility that this could be easier than I think. I'm open to the possibility that it's safe for me to begin to make changes in the way I eat. It's safe for me to nourish my body in a new way. I choose to begin to nourish my body in a new way. And I begin to let it go. Grab your wrist, take a deep breath, and peace. And so all we're trying to do when you're actually tapping on those points, you actually have access to the subconscious, and the subconscious becomes really curious. It takes all the static out of your body and all the like guards to where you can go, I'm curious, that's a possibility. And all of a sudden you just notice things begin to shift a little bit. You begin to notice that you have a little more interest in maybe eating something that's a little bit different. The words that I use is not about dieting or just any kind of any kind of rigid. Mine is all about nourishing your body, because that's really what we're after. I want you to feel alive and thrive, that the food that you put in your body makes you feel energized, and so it becomes nourishment, it becomes fuel. Those are different words. And when I started focusing on nourishing my body, fueling my body, then that became a different conversation. And so it was no longer this beating me up or feeling starved or deprived. It was about nourishment. That felt so much more enriching to me than anything else that I had done previously. So I'm just going to invite you to begin to change the conversation, talking about nourishment, talking about fueling your body, and then just starting out to just do that tapping as we did, and just see what comes up, and then leave your comments, like hit reply and just leave a comment, because I'm just curious. So we'll talk again soon. Blessings.